What happens when the laziness takes over ambition? Well, this is called sloth. Sloth is more than just being lazy. It's a spiritual and more indifference that makes you neglect your responsibilities and avoid personal growth. This quiet sin wears away a person's purpose, letting idleness replace discipline and action, which weakens the connections between the individual, their communities, and their higher calling. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a segment I like to call The Quiet Decay of Ambition, which is part 4 of the 7-month long series of the 7 deadly sins.
And it came to pass in a time of antiquity, in an era before the realms of man and creature were set asunder, that the land was defended by the holy knights, who did wield a great and wondrous power. Great was their fear, and reverence they did command. Yet from their own ranks, a treacherous company arose, who did betray the kingdom, and became sworn enemies to all who held the holy charge. They were known throughout the land, and their infamy did spread as the 7 deadly sins.
What's good, peeps? With all things shenanigans 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year, I am your host that does the most, Maestro DJ Jones. Welcome back to the Maestro Show, the only show where you may not be understood, but you are never, ever underestimated. Welcome to part 4 of the 7-month long series of the 7 deadly sins. This month, we're going to be talking about sloth, not the animal, the sin. First, we're going to talk about what it is, how to identify it, and then how to overcome it. Okay? So, grab your pens and notepad because this is going to be an epic discussion. Before we move any further, first things first, guys, go ahead and make sure you hit the like button. And if you want more videos like this, go ahead and click subscribe so you can get notifications on all the videos and everything that goes with this. All right. So now that we got that out the way, what is sloth? Sloth is often described as spiritual apathy or a culpable lack of effort. It is often seen as just being lazy, but its righteous side is more complex. It's about not doing what you should because you're not interested or because you don't love God enough. In the Bible, sloth is often seen as a sign of spiritual and physical laziness, which can lead to financial struggles, a sense of unhappiness, and a feeling that you don't know what you're doing. I like the part in here that says this. It says it's about not doing what you should do because you're not interested or because you don't love God enough. So basically it's saying you don't love God enough, so you don't feel like doing it. It's a little deep. Now, there are 4 key characteristics of sloth. The first one is spiritual apathy. Spiritual apathy, it's like being so caught up in your own world that you forget about your responsibilities to God and others. Now, while I agree, sometimes you need a chance to escape reality for a little bit, but you got to remember your obligations, your responsibilities, and everything that goes along with that. So, while it is okay to play video games, while it is okay to watch TV and things like that, you have to remember your responsibilities. There's work to do around the house. You have to go to your job to make money, to provide for yourself. If you're single, if you're married, you got to provide for your family. Number 2, the sin of omission. Unlike sins like wrath or greed, which involve taking action, sloth is more like, you know, you're not doing anything. You're not doing what's needed. Because like greed and wrath, which we'll talk about wrath later, so sloth is just like, I don't feel like doing anything about it. I don't feel like, I really don't feel like. Number 3, lukewarmness. It's often linked to a faith that's not very strong, which is mentioned in the book of Revelations. So in the book of Revelations, it talked about how if you're being lukewarm, God will spit you out. You cannot be lukewarm. You're either going to be for God or not. You're either going to be hot or cold. You're either going to be black or white. No gray. And lastly, number 4, distractions and busyness. It's funny how being so caught up in everyday stuff can sometimes be a way to sidestep thinking about our spiritual selves or doing some deep self-exploration. So this other characteristic of sloth is meaning is like you're so busy with work, or you're so busy with this extracurricular activity, or whatever it is we have in our lives, pretty much saying you don't have time to sit down and self-reflect on you, on your personal issues, or just some time to reflect on your goals or what you want, or things like that, right? You're so busy at work, or over here, over there, you forget to sit down and take a break. Sometimes sloth is a symptom rather than the primary problem. Consider these underlying factors. Sometimes sloth can feel like a way to escape the self, especially if someone feels like they can't succeed or that God's expectations are just too much to handle. Without seeing what's truly great or having a clear target to work towards, it's easy to settle for what's easy and familiar. Sometimes what we think is just being lazy might actually be tiredness from things like not getting enough vitamins, not sleeping enough, or dealing with mental health issues like depression. So keep these 3 factors in mind, because sometimes you can feel lazy, but you're not actually being lazy. Let me give an example. So I'm gonna use my wife. If that's okay, LiQWYD, I'm gonna use you for a second. Okay, so think about what my wife does. I'm in the military. That means I'm at work. I'm at work from 5 o'clock in the morning to about, I want to say 5 o'clock in the evening. Not all the time, but most of the time it's like that. Okay, so think about what my wife has to go through. Like she's at home with the kids. She has to take the kids to school, and my 4-year-old is like, she's not in school as of yet, but she's about to be. So there's that, and plus she has to cook dinner. And we have 3 kids. They're all toddlers. They tear up the house. She has to clean the house, cook the food, wash the dishes. Yes, I do help out with the kids a lot, but they want her. And that's just, and she knows how the house works. She spends most of the time with the kids. So when I could help out, she just steps in because I don't know what I'm doing. And so there are times where it could seem like she's just being lazy, but she's not lazy. She's just tired. She needs a break. She needs time to settle down. I get to go out and hang out with my friends and go over here and stuff, but look at my wife. She doesn't get that luxury. Even though I do give her an opportunity to hang out with her friends, and she does hang out with her friends when she wants to, but doing it all the time where she gets a break from the kids, she just doesn't. So there are times where she'll be in the bed all morning, and I'll be like, why are you in the bed all morning? But I have to remember, who deals with the kids the most? She does. Who takes them to school? She does. Who cooks the most? She does. Who cleans the house the most? She does. I clean the house too. Don't look. Hey, look now. I can clean up too. I cook too. I cook breakfast. But sometimes I do such a lazy job of doing it, or a sloppy job, Even when I'm at my best and I clean up afterwards, it's like, David, you didn't do it right. So she got to step in. So, but still, like, who does the most work around the house? The most of the inside work. She does. So there's no wonder why she's tired. No wonder. Come on, man. You're a woman, you be tired too. Now we're gonna go to the Bible about sloth, because the Bible does talk about sloth all over it, right? The parable of the talents. A great example is the servant who was considered wicked and lazy because he buried his talent instead of using it. He wasn't punished for doing something wrong, but for not doing anything with what his master had given. 2. The sluggard in Proverbs. The book of Proverbs the book of Proverbs frequently illustrates sloth through character called the sluggard. The one we have, the lion excuse. He sometimes makes funny excuses to skip work, like saying, "Oh, there was a lion in the road," or another one, "Sorry, I was late to work. I hit a deer, bruh." Shout out to Kevin Hart. The second one is the hinged door. He's like a door turning on his hinges, moving but not really getting it as he rolls over in bed. And number 3, the hand in the dish. He is so relaxed that he'll bury his hand in a dish, but it is too much effort to bring it back to his mouth. God pretty much in Proverbs is saying that God is so that this guy is so lazy that he won't even bring the food to his mouth. The third biblical example is the Israelites in the desert. Now, a few theologians see the Israelites' hesitation to enter the promised land as a sign of laziness, suggesting that they were too afraid to put in the hard work needed to understand and embrace God's promises truly. Number 4, the church in Sardis in Revelation. Now, the church faced criticism for seeming spiritually dormant and depending on its past image, even though it was not actively engaging in its faith. Number 5, disciples in Gethsemane. I really hope I said that. It is a reminder that even when we're willing to do what's right, our bodies can still falter, as Jesus discovered when his disciples fell asleep instead of keeping watch and praying with him during his most vulnerable moments. There are some warnings and signs against sloth. Also, number 1, making excuses, constantly finding resources to avoid responsibilities. Number 2, starting but not finishing, catching the game but not roasting it. And now that's dealing with food, but the parable here is, catching something, having the idea, saying, getting all the stuff you need to do it, but not actually seeing it through, not actually finishing it till the end. That in itself is sloth. And number 3, neglect of duties, letting your life get tangled up with thorns and fall apart. An example is you got so much going on and they all intertwine with each other instead of sitting down and making a plan to go to each thing responsibly. I can see how someone in church can get this mixed up when you neglect your duties, especially when it comes to serving, even though you're not getting paid for it. But listen, when you're in church and you have so much going on, you want to serve, but you're in too many places. You have to sit down and be like, okay, let me get this schedule underway. Make sense? Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me get this. Let me let me put this here. Let me put that here. I can't do this day because I have this going on. So why don't we reschedule this for next time? Sitting down and actually planning out yourself so you won't neglect your duties. Am I making sense? I hope this answers that question on neglecting your duties, right? But let's continue. Proverbs 6:6 says, "Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider her ways and be wise." Now, why is someone considering a person to an ant? It sounds more like an insult than something that's helping, right? But here's why. So this verse shifts Solomon's focus to the issue of laziness. The word used here, like sluggard or slacker, suggests more than just not wanting to work. It also hints at not being responsible and being lazy. These people might end up in trouble, even if they manage to get right now. Not being prepared means they won't be able to handle crisis later. But Solomon points out that the ant is a good example. It works hard and can handle tough times because of it. So that is what they mean by saying, consider the ant's ways and be wise. Because the ant knows that hey, we need to work. So we need to work. We need to work in the spring. We need to work in the summer so we can prepare for the fall and the winter, because we cannot survive in these harsh conditions. So how do I bring it back home to us? We're humans. We're not ants. Meaning, if you prepare yourself now, you'll be ready for crisis later. Basically, that means get the work done now. Don't wait. Get it done now, so you can rest later, right? When God created the heavens and the earth, He didn't just wait months and months and months and months. Day 1, He made this. Day 2, He made this. Day 3, He made this, and so on and so forth. And on the 7th day, He rested. It is important to get the work done now while you have the time. It is important to get the work done now. Get that idea in your head, put it on paper now, and follow through with it. Whatever you're trying to do in school, at work, in your hobbies, at church, whatever it is, get it done now so you can rest later. Don't spend so much time thinking about it. You have this idea, you have this thought, you have this thing that you're trying to do. Don't wait. Do it now. Don't be a sluggard. Don't be a slacker. Don't give in to sloth, because that's what this is. This is sloth. You not doing the work that God gave you, or the idea that you have in your head. You not doing it is sloth. If it's to help somebody, if it's to help you or whomever, do it now. Don't wait. Do it now. Do it now. If you're worried about putting money aside, stop waiting on the right opportunity. Stop waiting to get your finances together. Whatever you have right now, do it now. Even if it's just putting $10 to the side, put that money to the side and just start. You got to start somewhere. Start. Go ahead and start doing it. Don't wait. Go ahead and start. I know this video may have seemed kind of short, but it's still very powerful. This series is gonna be kind of short, but hey, don't get worried because it's short. Hey, it is still just as important, and this sin is just as deadly as all the others. But stay tuned for the next video as we learn how to identify it. If you don't learn anything else from me today, learn this. Know that life is not about waiting on the storm to pass. It is about learning to dance in the rain. I will see you guys at our next video about the quiet decay of ambition.